Whitewashing in beauty is a phenomenon defined by a situation where the skin tone of a non-white person, when shown in magazines, advertisements, commercials, and music videos, maybe even movies, is digitally retouched or physically modified to appear more white. The gold standard of white beauty is a woman who is neutral, with fair skin, fair hair, thin physique, lacking in curves that might be considered exotic. Whitewashing has been happening for years, and sadly it still happens to this day. I am counting down the top 10 celebrities that were whitewashed here for you on IO. What is gravy? You're watching Inform Overload, where you get your tea, your news, and your cringy dad jokes all in one place. I'm Charlotte Dobre. Subscribe for news updates that don't suck, top 10 lists that cure your boredom, all hosted by people that you might actually want to be friends with. So before I get into this one, I just have a little disclaimer for ya. Disclaimer! You might see a few of the women or men on this list and think that's not whitewashing, people are overreacting. Basically, what I've compiled are various controversies that have happened over the years involving ethnic celebrities where magazines or brands or movies were accused of whitewashing and also got backlash for whitewashing. If you don't agree, then that's fine, you're entitled to your opinion and you're free to voice your opinion down in the comments. But I'm talking right now. Listen. At number 10, Jennifer Lopez. You might have seen the romantic comedy The Backup Plan, starring Jennifer Lopez and Alex O'Loughlin. If you have, you might have noticed a few very strange details. Jennifer's race is never acknowledged in the film. Pretty much every other character in the film is Caucasian, including the woman that plays Jennifer's grandmother. Then, the end of the film, Jennifer gives birth to two blue-eyed, red-headed twin babies. Speaking as a redhead, I came out with red hair because I have it on both sides of my family. But the chances of a Latino woman giving birth to redheaded children is pretty slim because the gene's recessive. It is not racism, it is science. It was nice for the film to not see Jennifer's race as a detail worth mentioning. It would be kinda nice if we didn't really see race. But at the same time, isn't it a bit weird that she was essentially cast as a white woman? And have you ever noticed that in most of the films she's played the lead in, she ends up with a white man? Is that Hollywood's choice, or is that the people watching? At number 9, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Not everyone on this list is a woman, surprise! When Neil appeared on the cover of Mental Floss, his skin was noticeably lighter. This is a before and after. That editing job looks amateur as hell. I'm surprised Mental Floss even chose it for their cover. Looks like it was edited with an iPhone or something. I can actually do better edits than that on my iPhone. Neil casually called out the magazine on Twitter, nothing like being overexposed. No, literally, they could have dropped an f-stop or two on this photo. F-stop. And they could have upped the shutter speed and taken down the ISO, am I right? Oh, don't mind me, it's just a photography joke. Leave a like on this video if you get that joke. At number 8, Francesca Hayward. This one's a bit controversial. Okay, but this whole list is controversial. But I don't know what to make of this one, cause I see both sides of the argument. Francesca Hayward is a principal dancer with the Royal Ballet, one of Britain's most well-known ballerinas, and she was cast in Cats. But she was pretty difficult to recognize because, well, they made her a white cat with CGI fur. A mixed race woman became a white cat. Needless to say, people on social media were both confused and offended. They didn't even recognize her. Francesca, however, was not confused or offended. She said to Sunday Times Culture magazine, "Obviously, I would never have agreed to be part of something that would change the color of my skin had I been playing a human. The bottom line is, I'm playing a cat." There is no discussion. I am a cat that's white. Let's not read into it. I mean, we don't have to read into it, but Jennifer Hudson was also in that movie and she wasn't a white cat. At number 7, Halle Berry. When Halle Berry appeared on the cover of Harper's Bazaar in 2009, the magazine received a ton of backlash, especially in the media. The Daily News said that Halle Berry was the latest victim of overzealous photoshopping. Fans also said that her skin blended in with the light brown hair she was sporting. This wasn't the only time that Halle was whitewashed. People on Twitter also pointed out that she was whitewashed when she played Storm. Fans of the comic said that Storm should be played by a dark-skinned black woman, adding instead of two light-skinned actresses like Alexandra Shipp and Halle Berry, who had previously played her. Honestly, I feel like that casting choice might have had something to do with the fact that Halle Berry was probably one of the most notable ethnic actresses at the time. I think she won her Oscar pretty close to around that time, which usually coincides with being cast in like a superhero movie. At number 6, Rihanna. Rihanna's 2011 Vogue cover definitely had people talking. Not just because she looked like Marilyn Monroe, but because she looked shockingly white. Colorlines wrote at the time, the blonde wig may be throwing us off, but Rihanna is on the cover of British Vogue's November 2011 issue and she's looking much lighter. Vogue said in the statement that it was the fault of the bright sunlight that caused the issue, but not according to professional photographers who shared some valid points. One said, "We have filters, software, tents, and reflectors to take care of some bright sunlight." Another said, "If it was really that uncontrollable, every white star would be a ghost in their beach." I mean, they're not wrong. Here's a little lesson for ya. When you're shooting in a lot of light, especially with lighter skin tones, you underexpose on the camera and then brighten up the image later so you don't have to overexpose the image and then you lose all the information that's there. You can't save an overexposed image, you can save an underexposed image. That being said, it is entirely possible for a bright photograph to feature dark skin. Just look at this cover of Lucky magazine featuring Lupita Nyong'o. I mean, that's a bright photograph and she still looks quite dark, so that's a lie! You're lying! Halfway there at number 5, Kerry Washington. InStyle magazine was accused of lightening Kerry's skin on the cover of a March issue back in 2015. When Kerry shared the cover photo to her Instagram, there was a lot of backlash. InStyle responded to the backlash with a statement blaming the lighting, promising to learn from the experience going forward. That's the thing with magazine covers. They're very commercial and grabby, overexposed and bright. It's the same thing for a lot of beauty advertising. Speaking as someone who does take photos professionally, and it actually used to be my job, the more light there is, the more flattering the image. Whether or not that's wrong is another story, and pretty much just a matter of opinion. Kerry herself didn't feel as though the cover of InStyle was whitewashed, and she seemed content with the magazine's explanation. At number 4 we have Naomi Campbell. OG black supermodel Naomi Campbell is an open critic of whitewashing, and she's criticized the practice publicly. She called out Hello magazine for presenting what she calls as a completely whitewashed London. She also called out Vogue's editing room for their whitewashing. Being someone who's appeared in countless magazines and on covers, Naomi has been whitewashed also. Like on this cover of Vogue Thailand where she looks virtually unrecognizable. After the Vogue cover got backlash, the photographer responded and attributed the lighting to the photographer's style of editing, light, and makeup. The final cover for Vogue was later changed though, from the left picture to the right picture. You can see that Vogue took that criticism and darkened Naomi's skin. A little, not by much. I think it looks better, personally. They lost all those beautiful midtones in there. Unfortunate. At number 3, Gabourey Sidibe. There are a few black women who are changing Hollywood's acceptance of people that are different, more so than Gabourey. But back in 2017, Elle magazine was accused of lightening her skin color for the cover of its 25th anniversary issue. The photo on the left is the cover, the photo on the right is what she looks like in person. The magazine also cropped the picture so that her face was zoomed in, which was kind of a contrast to the other Elle covers that show the women's bodies, which kind of made people think that they were trying to hide the fact that she was a bigger lady. In response to the backlash, Elle said this: "Nothing out of the ordinary was done. We have 4 separate covers this month, and Gabby's cover was not retouched any more or less than the others. We had 25 cover-worthy subjects in our portfolio, and we chose Gabby because of who she is. We shot this as a story of exuberant young women changing the world. If you take a look at the portfolio, each of the women were shot in different ways and for different reasons." But here are some other examples of Elle covers. Just gonna stay silent on that one. At number 2 we have Beyonce. L'Oreal came under fire back in August of 2008 for whitewashing Queen Bey in their campaign for Feria hair lightening. Beyonce's skin tone was dramatically lightened, and of course so was her hair, because the product she was brought on to advertise was a hair lightening product. Many news outlets like the New York Post said Beyonce was virtually unrecognizable in the advertisements. I wouldn't necessarily go that far and say that. I would say that she was whitewashed though. UK fashion experts said at the time that lightening skin is a fairly common practice, but that doesn't make it okay. Chevelle Rule, fashion and beauty editor of Pride, said, I quote, "This sort of thing creates a negative perception of African beauty. It's an attempt to impose European values on African beauty, and the two simply don't mix in this way. A lot of young black girls out there who look up to Beyonce as a role model will be disheartened to see this image. We need to change the idea that being fair necessarily means being more attractive. It doesn't. All models who are proud to be black need to be more in vogue, or in fashion, so to put it." And at number 1 on our list, Lupita Nyong'o. The year Lupita Nyong'o delivered a chilling emotional performance in 12 Years a Slave was also the year she was whitewashed in her spread for Vanity Fair. One of Lupita's best features is her ebony skin. She's literally paving the way for all the dark-skinned queens who dream of being Hollywood actresses. So people were pretty pissed when they saw how much lighter the magazine made her complexion. Now, I'm not sure the magazine lightened her skin. They did apply a filter and they did some purpley color correction, which makes all skin lighter and more glowy. It's just kind of a look that most magazines go for, but it was pretty crappy timing considering the role Lupita played in 12 Years a Slave. you would think that the magazine would have chosen to celebrate her skin color. If that wasn't whitewashed enough for you, how about that time that Grazia UK edited out Lupita's curly hair and made it more Eurocentric? If you ask me how Lupita should have been portrayed, I'll just show you her Days magazine cover. That is how you photograph a black woman. Alright guys, that is it for this one. Do you agree with all of these controversies? Do you not? Let me know down in the comments. For now, I'm gonna wrap up this one with some comment features. J. Epitito said, Charlotte looks good in her straight hair. How dare you assume my hair's sexual orientation? Artsy Brit said, why can't people mind their business? Mind your business. Unless it's your job to report on other people's drama. I literally don't have a choice. Hey, I'm over here and I want to talk about aliens, but aliens don't go viral. Unless you're Secure Team 10. E-Girl said, hey, please call us squishies when you're on InformOverload. You want me to change it to squishies? But we're potatoes, we're not squishies. You can be a squishy if you want. I ain't telling you what you can and can't be. That is it for me. Thanks for watching. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want more, and I'll see you guys in a future IO video.